Tonight, some are calling a new Georgia law voter suppression. Governor Kemp says the bill adds extra voting security. One state representative was even arrested trying to stop the bill from being signed, which you see right here in this video next to me. On your side's Troy Kless has the latest for us.
During Governor Kemp's tour of the COVID-19 vaccine site here in Waycross, he briefly discussed signing that bill into law and says that it provides more security for voting Georgians. Now, voting rights groups disagree.
Cliff Albright is co-founder of the group Black Voters Matter and calls the signing of Senate Bill 202 a huge attack on voting rights after a historic election.
There was no fraud. There were no irregularities. This is nothing but a power grab, an attempt to take us back to the Jim Crow era, which is why we call it Jim Crow 2.0.
The bill makes law new voter ID requirements and gives the state power to take over local election boards. It also prevents volunteers from handing out food and water to voters waiting in line. Governor Kemp denies it takes away voting rights and slammed a state representative who tried to stop the signing of the bill.
It continues to, I think, will allow Georgia to have secure, accessible, fair elections in Georgia. As far as Representative Cannon, it's unfortunate that a sitting state representative would actually stomp and kick a Georgia State Patrol officer.
Albright says he is also hoping that there will be national legislation that can undo what he says Governor Kemp did. In Waycross, Troy Kless, First Coast News, on your side.